Hey there, gaming enthusiasts. Welcome to Gaming Axia, your go-to source for all amazing action RPGs. The Souls-like genre has come a long way since Dark Souls took over the gaming world by storm. And today, I'm bringing you a list of the 25 best Souls-like games of all time for you to try out. Please note that I will also include other From Software games, excluding Dark Souls of course, to see how they compare to other Souls-like games. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get started! On number 25, we have Thymesia. Thymesia is an action RPG that combines the best elements of the Souls-like genre with a unique twist. At your disposal are plague weapons, each with its own unique abilities and playstyles. For example, the bow can interrupt enemy attacks, while the hammer can smash down a large area. You can equip two of these weapons at the same time, unleashing combos that will devastate your enemies. Fans of the Souls-like genre will feel right at home with the fast-paced and satisfying combat. On top of that, Thymesia's world is filled with mysteries, leaving you wanting to explore more of this plague-ridden world. On number 24, we have Darksiders 3. This is an action-packed game that takes inspiration from the Souls-like genre more than its previous games. In Darksiders 3, you wield a unique blade whip-like weapon called Barbs of the Scorn. This cool weapon has upgradable forms, leaving you with many unique moves to mow through swarms of demons. If that's not enough, you also have special powers called Hollows, which can be switched in the middle of combat for destructive combos. These powers are also used in platforming sections as you swing through the ravaged world. This game also has puzzles that serve as a break from all the demon slaying, as well as a chance to appreciate the diverse set of environments. On number 23, we have Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. This spin-off of the Final Fantasy series is known for its lackluster story and lack of character development. However, the combat in this game is actually top-notch. Team Ninja has a lot of great action games under their belt, and this one is no different. The job system from classic Final Fantasy games makes a return. This time, you can have two jobs to switch in the middle of combat to spice up the battle. 1 second you're a mage firing spells from afar, the next second you're a samurai slicing enemies from up close. Whether you're a Final Fantasy fan or not, this game is worth trying out for its speedy combat and intense boss battles. On number 22, we have Ashen. Ashen is a Souls-like with focus on exploration in an oppressive but beautiful world. The environment and atmosphere of this game is one of best among other Souls-like. Whether you're running freely on the open field or in the darkest dungeons, tension and beauty goes hand in hand. While the combat and stat system are much simpler than most action RPGs, the smart enemy placements and strict stamina management can keep you on your toes. Most of the time you will be assigned an AI-controlled companion, but there's an item if you want to make the journey on your own. On number 21, we have Hellpoint. This game is a dark sci-fi Souls-like set in space. Dark and brooding atmosphere, along with horrifying monster designs, make this game stand out. The variety of weapons in this game combines sci-fi and demonic designs, making them really cool and fun to use. One unique mechanic of this game is the black hole system. Once in a while, the station will line up with the black hole, making enemies stronger and drop better loot. This mechanic, combined with the game's visceral combat, guarantees a challenging but fun gameplay loop. However, as beautiful as the world is, the exploration and storytelling may be underwhelming for some. On number 20, we have Steelrising. Set in an automaton-infested Paris, Steelrising tells a story about Aegis, an automaton dancer fitted with deadly weapons. It ticks all the boxes of being a Souls-like and adds even more. Beautiful architectures, detailed steampunk aesthetics, and Aegis's graceful yet deadly combat style, all packaged into a fun-to-play game and also exciting to watch. To top it off, Steelrising has a bit of Metroidvania mechanics scattered through the world. Some parts of the level aren't accessible until you have the right power, which can be gained from defeating bosses. This game has a perfect balance of exploration and combat. On number 19, we have Hollow Knight. Some call it Metroidvania, some call it Souls-like. I'd say it's the best of both worlds. Tight and precise controls in unforgiving combat and platforming. An eerie, desolate world in contrast with the cute character designs, exploration through mazes of caves and dungeons with tons of secrets. Hollow Knight has it all. You will look at the map often in this game as most areas are connected to other areas in the most unpredictable way. Combat remains simple from start to finish, but the attack pattern of enemies gets really difficult as you progress. All in all, Hollow Knight provides a brutal challenge accompanied with a beautiful world to explore. On number 18, we have The Surge 2. The Surge 2 is a sci-fi themed Souls-like where you fight robots, whether it's shaped like a humanoid or beast-like. What makes this game unique is the ability to target body parts. If you keep hitting an enemy's arm, you can rip that arm off to get a weapon, armor, or crafting materials to make one. Also, your heal charges every time you hit an enemy, so for those who like to play aggressively, this game is for you. Another cool thing is the varying weapon and armor designs, from something made out of scrap metals from a junkyard to sleek, futuristic weapons made to kill quickly and efficiently. On number 17, we have Another Crab's Treasure. Of all the games on this list, this one may be a bit different. While Souls-like are usually dark and depressing, this game lets you play as a hermit crab under the sea. But make no mistake, beneath the bright color palette and the cartoony art style, combat is still a challenging and rewarding experience. Since you're playing a hermit crab, you can actually use a lot of items as a temporary home. Bottle caps, tin cans, you name it. These homes will act as a shield to completely block enemy attacks. All in all, if you're getting tired of the grim and oppressive atmosphere of Souls-like, this game is for you. On number 16, we have Code Vein. Code Vein is set in a post-apocalyptic world where humans have become vampiric monsters forced to feed on blood to survive. With its gorgeous anime art style, this game is not afraid to be a little over the top with its design and animation. The combat in this game is a perfect balance of strategic and fast-paced action. If you're having a hard time, you can always invite a friend for some co-op action or leave it to an AI-controlled companion to help you through the journey. With its deep character customization and progression system, fair and fun combat, and stunning presentation, Code Vein is a game that's definitely worth checking out. On number 15, we have Wukong Fallen Dynasty. Wukong is Team Ninja's latest take on the Souls-like genre. The combat in Wukong revolves around the Spirit gauge. Spirit is used to perform various tasks, such as deflecting, dodging, and casting spells. Run out of Spirit and you're gonna take a lot of damage. Keep in mind that this also applies to your enemies, so playing aggressively is greatly rewarded. While the combat, visuals, and progression are direct upgrades from Nioh, some people think the pacing of the game can be all over the place, but still it's a very fun game, especially if you're interested in the Three Kingdoms. On number 14, we have Remnant from the Ashes. Remnant is a third-person shooter combined with Souls-like mechanics. This game is a mix of sci-fi, fantasy, and horror themes all blended into a post-apocalyptic setting. Thanks to that, this game has a diverse set of weapons and armors for you to craft. From a machine gun that shoots fire bullets to a pistol that shoots bees, the game has it all. What makes Remnant stands out is the randomly generated campaign. That means level layouts, enemy placement, and even bosses are different on your second playthrough. This makes the experience feels fresh every time, and if you dropped in your friend's campaign, you will see a whole different world. On number 13, we have Nioh. Nioh is Team Ninja's first take on the Souls-like genre. What sets it apart from its peers is the stance mechanic. Every melee weapon in this game has 3 stances you can quickly switch from. Each of these stances has strengths and weaknesses. This mechanic, along with the unforgiving stamina management, are necessary to survive in the world of Nioh. Enemies drop equipment like candy in this game, so you'll be spending a lot of time in menus comparing weapons and armor. On top of that, the complicated blacksmithing system may be overwhelming to new players, but it's still a lot of fun to try. On number 12, we have Mortal Shell. At first glance, this game may look like a straight copy of Dark Souls, but as you play it, you'll notice some new things Mortal Shell put on the table. In this game, you can possess and reanimate the bodies of fallen warriors, known as Mortal Shells. Each shell has its own unique abilities and playstyle, from the tanky paladin to the agile scholar. One other thing to note is that you have no healing items. During combat, you can only heal by parrying enemy attacks. In short, the game's addictive combat, rich world, and unique mechanics made this game into something fun and distinctive. On number 11, we have Blasphemous 2. Much like Hollow Knight, Blasphemous 2 is a mix of Metroidvania and Souls-like. With its unique blend of dark fantasy and Catholic iconography, the haunting yet gorgeous world of Blasphemous 2 is made perfect by the amazing sprites and animations. There are 3 different weapon types to obliterate your enemies: a huge flail, a curved sword, and a rapier paired with a dagger. Not just for combat, each weapon has its own ability to get through puzzles and platforming sections in the game. This dark, bloody, and sadistic game is fun and challenging, as well as a visual treat from start to finish. On number 10, we have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Fallen Order is a beautiful take on the Star Wars universe combined with the Souls-like genre. The combat is similar to Sekiro. After depleting the enemy's posture, you can use a flashy finishing move with your lightsaber. But because you're a Jedi, the lightsaber isn't your only weapon. You can use the Force to push or pull enemies for a cool environmental kill. From simply pushing someone off a cliff to deflecting a rocket fired by a stormtrooper, the Force is a very fun and strategic power to use. With its exciting combat, beautiful environment, and engaging performance, it's a game that will please both Star Wars fans and Souls-like fans. On number 9, we have Remnant 2. This sequel to Remnant is much more fleshed out than its predecessor. Randomized map layouts and enemies are back, making sure that every run feels fresh. On top of that, the main quest is also randomized. The NPCs you help and the places you go will be different for each playthrough. There are different classes to mix and match and tons of weapons to craft, making Remnant 2 a Souls-like with a lot of room for experiments. With a world filled with secret dungeons and quests, tough and deadly bosses, this game is a thrilling adventure that will leave you wanting more. On number 8, we have Salt and Sanctuary. Salt and Sanctuary is one of the earliest Souls-like that perfectly captures the difficulty and atmosphere of Dark Souls in a 2D plane. Tough enemies, limited stamina, and a focus on exploration. Many of the areas are accessible from the start, but be warned, you'll probably die a lot. The boss battles truly shine in this game. They are tough, punishing, but also incredibly satisfying when you finally emerge victorious. All of these moments are presented with a watercolor art style that's both haunting and beautiful, ensuring that every frame is a painting. On number 7, we have the 2023 reboot of Lords of the Fallen. Lords of the Fallen is another earlier Souls-like to hit the gaming world. In the 2023 reboot, it's made bigger and better. This game has a unique mechanic called the Umbral Lamp, where you can hop between two realities instantly. This mechanic can be used to solve puzzles for an added layer of exploration, or to fight entirely different alien-like enemies. One of the great things in this game is the melee combat. Every weapon feels really satisfying to use. Coupled with terrifying monster designs and challenging bosses, Lords of the Fallen is a Souls-like that feels fresh, but also familiar. On number 6, we have Nioh 2. This sequel to Nioh takes everything from the first game, made it better, then added a lot of new things to make it harder, faster, and ultimately more satisfying. There's the yokai shift mechanic that transforms you into a demon to make unique combos and special attacks. The soul core item that can drop from enemies lets you use that enemy's ability, and so much more. With 11 weapon types from a simple katana to a polearm that switches between cleaver, glaive, and scythe, this game really shines when you're experimenting on builds and equipment. On number 5, we have Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong is a Souls-like with an aggressive combat inspired by Sekiro. Set in the classical Chinese novel Journey to the West, the world is filled with forests, temples, snowfields, and much more. The map design on this game is crafted to be extremely pretty and detailed. And within these gorgeous areas, you will be fighting enemies in fast-paced yet strategic combat. With 3 unique staff styles, each with its own set of moves and abilities, you'll be able to chain together devastating combos with style and grace. All in all, this game is a perfect blend of serene beauty and thrilling action. On number 4, we have Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Sekiro is the first Souls-like to get rid of the stamina mechanic and introduce the posture mechanic. In this game, you break the enemy's posture by relentlessly attacking and parrying their attacks until they're susceptible for an insta-kill death blow. Sekiro greatly rewards fast, aggressive play rather than the strategic stamina management of Dark Souls. Combined with the satisfying sound of clashing steel and the fluid animations of the finishing moves, the combat in this game will never get old. To top it off, this game made great use of its setting to paint great landscapes and architectures of a war-torn Japan. On number 3, we have Lies of P. Lies of P is a gothic-themed Souls-like with satisfying combat and a beautiful world to explore. This game, like Sekiro, encourages an aggressive playstyle for you to survive. Parrying enemy attacks will break their posture, and continuously attacking enemies grants you heals. What sets it apart from other Souls-likes is the weapon crafting system. Almost every weapon in this game is divided into 2 parts, a blade and a handle. These parts can be mixed and matched freely to make deadlier weapons or even useless ones. From a great sword blade and a polearm handle, or a wrench head and a dagger handle, the choice is yours. On number 2, we have Bloodborne. Bloodborne is From Software's first attempt at a fast-paced, aggressive Souls-like. Striking an enemy after getting hit gives some of your health back, and little to no means of blocking forces you to dodge or parry enemy attacks. Pair that with relentless, horrifying monsters straight out of an H.P. Lovecraft book, and you get a brutal combat that leaves you wanting more. One of the special things about this game is the trick weapons. Every weapon in Bloodborne has 2 modes that completely change your moveset, from a saw blade with an extendable handle for more reach to a sword that can turn into a whip. The creativity in this game is unmatched. On number 1, we have Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a culmination of everything the Souls series have to offer. Combat mechanics, atmosphere, and world building combined into one big open world. With the staggering amount of weapons, armor, skills, and spells this game has to offer, you will spend a lot of time trying out builds that suits you the most. And if you got stuck on a boss, go somewhere else. The best thing about Elden Ring is the player's freedom. You can go anywhere to level up or find better gear, then challenge the boss when you're better equipped. This open world system, along with the beautiful landscapes and memorable bosses, makes this a game that will go down in history. And there you have it, fellow gamers. Which game is your favorite? Did we miss one that deserves a spot on the list? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more epic gaming content, and ring that bell so you're always up to date on the latest and greatest games. Until next time, and happy gaming!